Both my kids, my entire staff, everybody is a feminist at my place. Everybody. I think you're the first and the only reporter who's asked me this.
Really?
I don't understand period happening to a 13, it will happen to a 13, 14-year-old girl, but it is not acceptable. Showing blood is not acceptable. In fact, there are few trolls on my social media who have sent me this, that how can you show, ये तो बहुत बदतमीजी वाली बात है, ये this is against our culture. So I was like, why can't people see for the person that I am? I'm Tahira Kashyap, and I'm not Tahira Khurana, or Mrs. Khurana, Tahira. You know, ये reviews आ रहे हैं. Why are they saying Tahira, Ayushman's wife, Tahira has made a film, and this is the least of all, at least not the review of the film that I have written and directed.
That's bare minimum.
It's not even like I'm going for a screening or it's a public event. It's a piece of work which is mine, or my own. Hi, I'm Tahira Kashyap Khurana and you're watching me on midday.com.
Hello everyone, this is Ocean Fernandez for midday.com, and joining us in conversation is the incredibly talented director Tahira Kashyap, who's out with her movie Sharma Ji Ki Beti. Hi Tahira.
Hello Sheen, thank you for having me over.
So Tahira, I've watched the movie and I feel like there's so much of you in the movie. Please correct me if I'm wrong though. But you know, the character of Divya Datta, especially, you know, someone who's come from Patiala to Mumbai, it very much shows you coming to Mumbai and, you know, finding your path over here. How was that for you coming to this city?
You're right. So not correcting you because you're not wrong. This film, all the characters have a little bit of me, and I think the first film for any filmmaker is from a place of experience or very close observation. So all of them have a bit of me in some way or the other, and then of course it gets exaggerated and the storytelling part of it comes in. For me, coming to Bombay was, I was lost. I was very, very lost. The city has its own pace. Every city has a pace. So the city that I come from, it's a very laid back, winter mein moofli, the singdana cheel ke khao, aram se dhoop seko, then have orange juice, phir gupshup lagao. You know, that's the pace of the city. And suddenly when I'm coming here, everybody is just going, Brownian movement ho raha hai yahan par, everybody is just, for me it was haphazard but everybody had a mission and something to do. But for me, everything was so busy, even people who were taking up the hobbies like playing squash or going to the gym, even that was with the intention, like the eyebrows were always, you know, furrowed, always, kahin jana hai, kaam karna hai, aana hai. So that was one part that I couldn't understand, and I think that little bit I wanted to introduce in Kiran's character as well. That she comes from a small city doesn't make her, you know, less progressive. In fact, she's one of the most progressive characters in the entire film, which you'll get to know basis on her reactions to so many things in her life, whether it's from her daughter's side, from the husband's side. I think she outdoes any cosmopolitan or metropolitan chick, right? So, but the desire of being seen and to be spoken to, I think that was something that I tried to get into the character.
Like speaking to your sabzi wala?
यार कोई तो बात कर ले. सारी इतनी busy है and यहाँ पर सब्जी वाला भी इतना busy है.
So, Tahira, you got Neena Gupta for Pinni.
Yes.
And then now you have a feature film.
Yes.
When you're working as a filmmaker, you obviously need people to back you, to
Yes.
put these out there.
Yes.
How did you crack that circle? Is your circle like robust over here in the city?
Nahin yaar, I don't think that helps also, because I'm pretty much an introvert, and very honestly, the friends that I have are the same friends that I've had over the past 20 years, 25 years. वही theatre friends हैं जो चंडीगढ़ में थे साथ में, और वही अब हैं. They are the closest set of people, but of course in the interim I have made a few genuine friendships, more friendships as well. But again, mostly not from the industry. When I made Toffee, my first short film, it was with two new actors. They were again 12, 13-year-old girls. And again, that film went to various film festivals, and that was my first validation that came. Quarantine Crush that I wrote and that I directed. Ghazal had written that film, and that I made it during the lockdown. That also has new actors. So with Pinni, I had narrated it to Guneet. So I think that really helped me get Tina Ji. And I think it was never my personal relationships. It was always the story, you know, very honestly. And my vision also of directing certain people. Like that wish list was there. So even when I was doing Sharma Ji Ki Beti, I had been given many options, suggestions, constructive, commercial, viable suggestions. Why don't you sort of make the age little more palatable,
Yeah.
let go of the child track because young women don't want to have children, there's all of that. But then I did not succumb to those because I was very sure that these are the women and this is the age group and we do exist when they are 13 or 40-year-old and they're even
Yes.
interesting during that age group as well.
Yes.
And so which is why it took 7 years. So थोड़े relationships काम नहीं आई तो पहले बन जाती but when it was made with the most beautiful, credible, authentic cast. I couldn't have asked for anyone better than Divya Datta, Sakshi Tanwar, to play those parts. And Sayami, because she's really a sports person in
Yes.
real life. So she extends that body language, that
Yes.
poise automatically. So it
Yes.
becomes very convincing.
You know, Tahira, I came across one post by Ayushmann where he has credited himself as Ayushmann Khurrana Tahira's husband. It's very sweet of him, and I really commend that. The reason being is that not everybody does that.
Yeah, you
And-
trust to me, even in the reviews,
Yes.
I have I've been addressed as Ayushman's
Wife.
wife, Tyra, who's directed a film.
Yes. What it must have been a bummer, because
Yeah.
this is it's a case with all women. You work so hard and then you are narrowed down to what you are, a wife or
Yeah.
a mother.
Yeah.
Does that bother you?
It used to bother me long time back, really, it really used to bother me. And I was like, why can't people see for the person that I am? I'm Tahira Kashyap, and I'm not Tahira Khurrana, or Mrs. Khurrana, Tahira. So, wo itne sare permutation combinations when I used to get worked up. And then I think it was a part of self-evolution that why am I getting worked up? It's because I'm not sure of myself right now. I need to be sure of myself to such an extent that a random person's way of addressing me does not affect me at all. It doesn't define me. It doesn't affect me. It should not give me a kick, or it should not even make me feel bad about myself. And so all these years, I was only working on developing myself, being sure of my bearings, finding my center, which I think most of our lives we are doing that as women and not just as professionals, just as people, just as we are just trying to center ourselves,
Yes.
trying to be okay with whoever we are.
Yes.
And I think that work in progress took me to such an extent that a day came when they were saying, people said Ayushmann's wife or Viraj or Varushka's mother, and I just took pride in that. Because these are my relationships. These are the people that I root for always. They mean so much to me and they're doing well in life. And if people are addressing me as someone, their relative, I'm okay with it. So today you say Tahira, I'm okay. Say Tahira Khurrana, I'm okay. Say Mrs. Kashyap, I'm just okay with anything because I know who I am and I really don't need you to define me. So in fact, I have not even taken up with her that, ये reviews are रहे हैं. Why are they saying Tahira, Ayushmann's wife, Tahira has made a film? And this is the least of all, at least not the review of the film that I have written and directed.
That's bare minimum.
It's not even like I'm going for a screening or it's a public event. It's a piece of work
Yes.
which is mine or my own, But it really doesn't matter to me, very honestly.
I want to know your kids, the way they see you, the way they see Ayushmann, Is there like a clear demarcation when it comes to gender bias where you tell your kids like, hey, you know what, even I go to work.
Yeah.
So don't expect me to like just be around all the time. You can expect from
course.
me that as well. Do they get the pep talk?
Oh, they do all the time to such an extent. Both my kids, my entire staff, everybody is a feminist at my place. Everybody. So I think, and feminism doesn't mean that women are better than men.
Yes.
It's just saying that we all are equal. And I think major part of my grouse, I was begrudging my mother, the Swati Jyoti track was, my mother did not find the time to give herself the credit.
Yes.
Because women don't rub it in the faces of
Yeah.
it, कि मैंने इतना कुछ किया है, तुम्हारे प्लेट में आज खाना है इसलिए नहीं क्योंकि कहीं से आया, बनाया गया है, बर्तन खरीदे गए हैं, टाइम इन्वेस्ट किया गया वो खाना बनाने में और तुम्हारे कोई परोसा जा रहा है, तुम्हें लग रहा है कि हवा में होके सब कुछ हो रहा है.
Yes.
who's doing it. So I feel it's very important to tell the people, and that doesn't make you narcissists, that doesn't make you not so humble people, but at times you need to do it because other person needs to appreciate it.
Yes.
There has to be appreciation for the hard work that even you are doing.
Yes.
So at times you need to sit and tell them. You know, I was having this conversation with my son, and he's a child, you know, 11, 12, and so he was like, Mama, it took you 7 years to make this film. I was like, yeah, baby, it took me 7 years. So basically, you've been wanting to do this. I was like, yeah. So he's like, okay, so that means the choices that Papa has taken in his life are more correct because clearly the choices that you have made has taken you 7 years. Now, I could have easily, you know, sort of said, I said, Bacha hai, chodo, rehne do. He'll realize it on his own. After he'd finished all of whatever, he said, baby, I said, Bache, that I know the choices that your father has made, that's what he wanted to do. But the choices that I have made has led to your existence, to you sitting here and telling me all of this.
Yes.
So he was like, and I was like, then your little other sibling, she also exists listening to this conversation only because of a choice that I took.
Yes.
So you should be giving me credit because you're alive because of me.
Yes.
And so I think it's so important at times to rub it in a little bit to make them understand, because they're also kids and there's also the world. The world only sees what is being shown to them. The BTS hardly people see.
Yes.
So I think it's about time you have the BTS, the behind the scene conversations, work done. At least tell them that it's being done.
Tahira, a very important scene in the film is, you know, where she finally gets her period. And we've seen what we've never seen before. We've seen blood.
We've seen red stain.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not fancy. It's not angelic. She's not like, although she's quite ecstatic about it, unlike some of us who get cramps.
Yes.
But how did you make sure that this scene remains in the film? There must be a lot of people who are going to.
Yes, and I think you're the first and the only reporter who's asked me this.
Really?
That asked me, ठीक है, stain दिखाया, but to realize that there must be so many people who would have objected to it. So you're the first person amongst all the interviews that I have done till now, and it is the truth because it is not somehow palatable. I don't understand. Period happening to a 13, it will happen to a 13, 14-year-old girl, but it is not acceptable. Showing blood is not acceptable. In fact, there are few trolls on my social media who have sent me this, that how can you show, ये तो बहुत बदतमीजी वाली बात है, ये this is against our culture to show girls talking about periods and then you go on to show a stain. It's really, so he's in the chase.
Did they expect like blue color? What we see in the ads?
In the whisper ad, blue रंग डाला गया. We be blue. हम सब यहाँ पर avatars हैं, हमारे अंदर से blue blood निकलता होगा या कुछ. The idea at the same time was, very honestly, the space from which I work is, I understand the prejudice, I understand the patriarchy as well. I understand everybody is a product of their circumstances.
Yes.
And so I will not put you down, but I would want to feed you some information which is palatable and will make you smile and not cringe.
Yes.
And if I have been able to do that, that's my biggest win.
Yes.
So, and I was told that, you know, let's not have this scene, यहाँ तक camera लेके जाते हैं, we'll just have our expression. And I was like, no, let's show it for what it is. It is a stain, it is period. हमने ये बात कर ली ना, now let's move on in life.
And I think the women will relate because we all have had stains.
Yes, we've all had stains. It's so important. So today, again, I was just telling someone that I got a message from a friend of mine who is in Singapore and she has a son. So she was like, I was watching this film with my son and these are the conversations I've not had, but so much of it was made clear because he just understood how girls work and it has sensitized him because he asked me a question, Mama, do boys get periods? And she was like, no, but that led to a friendly conversation and I'm just so glad that
that was the initiative.
My son will become more sensitized now. And I was like, that's such a victory for me, you know. It's just not girls, it's the boys who need to be sensitized towards women and the physiology and the biology that they have.
Yes.
In order to comprehend them, empathize with them and cherish them.
Awesome, Tyra. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
lovely.
the lovely questions. Honestly, thank you so much.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.